before we jump into this video, I want you... There's a chain. Okay, just stop real quick. Alright, before we jump into this video, I was recording and then, life happened and the camera died, right? So, I'm gonna look a little bit rough. Look a little bit rough in this video you're about to watch. That's because I was trying to record raw. I was trying to get pure emotion up out of there to give you the best video that I could with helping you make an Animatic in Procreate. So, don't hold it against me. Secondly, you're gonna notice the glass is different because your boy has some sauce out here. I do walk through the house like this, and I mean in a Komodo because I work from home. I'm a freelance guy. I can do that. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into that.
Now, I came to rock. I came to move the crowd. I came to scream it out loud.
Hey, what's up, heroes? Thanks once again for tuning in to hang out with your nerdy friend. It's Bree, aka Nerdy. This video, alright, first off, this video I have tried to record like 4 times, right? I've tried to do it 4 times, and it's funny because, being gone, I've kind of lost touch with how to do it the proper way. But also, this one's a little bit different because normally, as you know, my videos are about myself. I'm switching it up for this series. My friend kind of gave me some good advice. The videos are mostly for you, right? To help you, the new freelance artist, the new artist, somebody that's trying to learn, get to where you want to get to. So, I had to get rid of those 4, start over, and I'm making this one for you now. So with that said, if you're new, thanks for coming to the channel. Also, if you're old, this is what we're doing moving forward. I'm just gonna try to bless you guys, I should say, with some knowledge and just kind of give you easy tips to make your life easier when trying to be a freelance artist or freelance storyboard artist. Okay, so real quick, I'm recording here and on my iPad. I made this video because this iPad right here that you guys can see, and then you're going to see the screen. This iPad right here got me through my whole first year of being a storyboard artist. From the AR video game to the web series to pitches, the treatments, even up to the thing for Shad Gaspard and the latest project, which was for Dark Distagio, which I did on the brand new iPad that I bought with the money that I made from the old iPad. So I'm telling you guys all this to give you reference or give you an idea that you do not need the top-of-the-line instrument, the best software. You just need something that works, and you need to know how to use it. Alright, so what you guys are seeing right here is actually a animatic that I did for a client. I can tell you about it. It was for a pitch of an animation show that he was making, and he kind of really gave me a lot of free roam to come up with the shots and how I wanted to compose them. So he gave me like a script, and then I designed the whole shots. Now, I'm telling you guys this because this is a key point for designing storyboards in Procreate. You really need to know what you're going to do with the shot, and then also figure out how you're going to execute it, right? So for this first shot, I want there to be this lizard, and then this lizard, we kind of truck in a little bit, and as we truck in, or some people that say zoom in, you see the lizard, see a bug, and then the bug realizes it's probably going to be eaten by the lizard. Now, the reason I did this is just because it adds interest to the story, but this is to, make it interesting. So, I'm giving you all that preface for this moment coming up. Let me play it for you. So, alright, the camera zooms in. We see establishing shot of this garage, close up with some water. There's a bug walking up. He walks over the car, walks down the car, walks towards the camera. He sees a foot, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. Walks over, walks to this puddle that's laying here. We notice a body laying on the floor. There's a gun. The roach is on the gun. The person wakes up. The camera kind of turns. It's a girl. And then from there, she gets up. She's like, where the heck am I? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to stop it there and kind of go back to the beginning. Because this is just the bread and butter of what you can do with animation assist in Procreate. So if you look on my screen right now, you see I have these frames down here at the bottom. This is inside Let's go to here. If you go to New Procreate, if you go into Canvas, there's Animation Assist. So I drew the Animatic in Animation Assist. I would recommend, one, knowing what the script's gonna be, like I just said, and how I plan out that shot. But two, drawing in the aspect ratio of the project you're supposed to be drawing in. As you notice, it's full screen, at least for this. So I drew it in full element. Don't draw in thumbnails because you're gonna lose quality when you export. But also, this helps you out because say if later on someone wanted an animatic, and later on they want a, I don't know, like a shot list, like actual thumbnails, you can just take one or two of these and shrink them down and pop them into a template, and there you go. If you go into settings, obviously you have loop, which just loops your animation, ping pong, which goes from start to finish, and then finish to start, and then one shot, which means it just plays it one time through. The frames per second, right now it's at 24 frames per second, but usually when I animate, I actually like to keep it at 12. You can bump it up as you need, but if you're using the old iPad, and I'm going to preface this, if you're using the old iPad, it doesn't have as much power as the new iPad, and then Procreate still has limited amount of layers that you can use, so you have to keep that in mind when you're working on this. This is not Storyboard Pro or TV Paint or Grease Pencil or Clip Studio. You know, I don't actually know how Clip Studio works, but it's not one of those softwares that are made for storyboarding. You're just using it as this to get what you need out of it. If you notice in the beginning, we just have this one frame, right? And then if you look at the animation, you notice in animation, I had it kind of zoom in. Literally all I did, guys, was just grab the picture. I increased the size using the selection tool, right? And then I just made it grow and shrink. I did go in and add in more shading and coloring, but the reason why I mentioned all that stuff in the beginning is because when you're drawing in an animatic in this format, you can't just zoom in the camera digitally because there's no digital camera. Your drawing is literally the camera. So when I said you have to plan out the shot and know what you're going to do, this is what I meant. If you're going to zoom in there and get a creature or a character like close up, you got to do that all by hand. If you're going to have something moving in the background, you got to do that all by hand. It's not hard, but it's a little bit tricky if you've never done it before. So I recommend practicing. Just don't get too ahead of yourself. Obviously, don't do this on a major project if you don't know what you're doing. I did that, but I know what I'm doing from previous work. Then say later on, like this one shot where we have the car, and then we have the car, then we have the bow walking up. You know, these are what we call keyframes. Like these are moments in time in the view of the customer, of the viewer. What would they see? You don't have to do a straight ahead animation where it's really smooth. You can kind of do breaks just to kind of, all right, this is the pacing of how things are going to move along. And so with Animation Assist, obviously you draw every single picture, just like you would if you were drawing inside something like Storyboard Pro or TV Paint, but instead of the computer kind of generating the drawings for you, you actually have to draw them yourself. So that's the trick that you have to master with doing an animatic in Procreate. Now remember I told you that this is a Procreate's great, but it's limited, especially on the older iPad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 drawings. There's 6 different ones. All of them have like so many drawings in them, and that's just because, like I said, Procreate's great, but it's limited, and I have to create every single picture. And then on top of that, every single picture that I had to create, when I went in and say I was drawing a frame in Animation Assist at the bottom here, if you look, I actually had to add in for it to hold so many frames, right? So I had to click on the actual frame itself and hold it. So that creates 8 additional images that Procreate has to process. So if you're drawing on an older iPad and you're new to this, you have to think about all that moving forward. That's why I'm saying don't do this if you're new to projects, if you're new to making animatics, or if you're new to storyboards. Practice on something smaller and then go to big scale and then get better and get better and get better, and which you will. So tips for just making this smoother: plan out all your shots ahead of time. What you guys don't see is that actually for this client actually created all the thumbnails already, which was the old school way. And that's why I told you to essentially draw in the big aspect ratio first and then switch, because I did it reversed. He actually had me draw original storyboards and thumbnails, and then he said, hey, can you convert those to animatics? And at that time, I was just broke new Storyboard, so I did not have Storyboard Pro or TV Paint or any of that stuff. So then I had to create the aspect ratio and then redraw a lot of the frames. And we have 45 different drawings here, all with 6 frames each, so you can know how many pictures that is. But as you can see, you know, the images, I just kind of imported them in and then drew over them. And then I kept it kind of, these are more like beat boards versus hit by head. But like that was just learning lessons that I learned. I was like, all right, cool. I did the beat boards, or like kind of phases of the storyboard, but then I had to draw the in-betweens and how do I get from this shot to this shot. It was very tricky, so make it easy on yourself. Plan out your storyboard, probably do some quick thumbnails, then go into your Animatic and draw everything in the big aspect ratio. And then from there, once you know if you're gonna truck, pan, move the camera, remember that you have to draw all that. Remember that you have a limited amount of layers, but also remember that your iPad is also limited, so you're gonna have to probably do different project files. But can it pull it off? Can Procreate really make you an Animatic? I made mine. My client loved it. Unfortunately, he passed away. That's a story for another time. But before he passed away, he actually got to see it, and he loved everything that I created. And I've just felt that this is a good starting point for people who don't have a lot of money, who are still trying to jump into it, who don't have probably all the best skills and don't want to spend all that much money to get a Wacom Cintiq or brand new iPad. You can start with something a little bit older and still get great quality. And that's the whole point of this video. I just want you to be able to create storyboards with what you have to the best of your ability, and then be able to also create animatics with Procreate to the best of your ability in an easier way. You can do all the shading, you can do all the blurring because Procreate has that, but remember you have to think about that ahead of time. So pre-plan, stage, pre-plan, and stage as far as you can, as good as you can beforehand, and then when you go into Procreate, remember to execute that differently. If you guys want, I can do actual live recording of me doing an animatic in here for you, but you just have to comment down below, leave like a like or something, and then just let me know. With that said, guys, thanks once again for tuning in and hanging out with your nerdy friend. It's Bree, aka Nerdy. I missed you guys. Please be safe during this quarantine time. Wear your mask. So, remember I told you the video cut out. This is where the video cut out at. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks guys for tuning in again. Hanging out with your nerdy friend. It is Bree, aka Nerdy. You guys are awesome. Please stay safe. Go vote. Take care of your family members. Wash your hands. Wear the mask. And just be happy. Alright? I will see you guys next week. Next week I'm gonna go over how to get better at drawing storyboard thumbnails faster using in 5-minute intervals. So yeah, I'll have the title more worked out next week. Alright? So with that said, guys, I'll see you guys next week. I love you, and as always, people, stay nerdy, and I'll see you next week.
Now I came to rock, I came to move the crowd.